Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of the Opposition Preview. First things first, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. And on Monday evening, Chelsea heads to Craven Cottage, having dropped to 15th in the table after Wolves' 2-1 win against Man City yesterday. Fulham sitting 12th, 3 points above the Blues and unbeaten against them last season as well. Although we did get a 2-0 win in the summer series. Not much of a flex, but we got to take it at this point in time. Both sides are struggling for goals, so it could be a low-scoring affair. But I'm delighted to be joined by Sammy from the Fulhamish podcast to get the lowdown and the Fulham perspective on this game. Mate, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate your time. What have you made of Fulham's start to the season? Are you roughly where you think you should be? Obviously, as I said, goals in short supply like ourselves. Obviously, Mitrovic leaving in the summer, not ideal. Replaced, well, I say not a direct replacement, but it's Raul Jimenez has come in, Adama Traore has come in. What have you made of the start so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been solid, if not like massively remarkable. It was definitely a tough start to the season, but we've just been getting points and keeping ourselves our heads above water, really. Picked up a couple of important wins. I think winning at Everton on the opening day was absolutely crucial. It just got us off to a good start and has just meant we're not, they took the pressure off. It's always horrible when you're in our situation and you go 3 games without a win, 4 games without a win, and before you know it, you're a bit like Bournemouth and suddenly you're 7 games without a win. And so I think we won on the opening day. We got kind of a scrappy win against Luton, and a couple of impressive results. We beat Spurs in the Carabao Cup. That was a lot of fun, and also got a 2-2 draw at Arsenal, and should have won it as well. So close to winning it with 10 men. So Fulham have been all right, but as you say, it's just the lack of goals and losing Mitrovic has just been such a blow. And I think we're looking really good across the pitch, apart from just the lack of a goal scorer up front. And it's quite sickening, really, because I think if Mitro was here this year with the additions we've made some really smart signings. I think if we still had Mitrovic, then I think we'd be an absolute threat. And I think we'd be pushing on from last year. As it is, I think where we are right now, 11th, 12th, is probably where we're going to spend most of the season. And that's absolutely fine because we've had a lot of years toing and froing between divisions. And so at the moment, I'm still very comfortable.
Mitrovic was a name that a lot of Chelsea fans were potentially interested in as a centre forward in the summer. As well. Obviously, he's off playing with Neymar now out in Saudi, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying. But yeah, it kind of is what it is. But what have you made of the replacements as such? Obviously, you said Raul Jimenez has come in, who has been a very good player, has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. But really, since that horror skull injury, it's not quite been the same. What have you made of his start to life at Fulham? And how's Adama Traore done as well?
Well, annoyingly, Adama's been injured. He started really well, and in the few sub appearances that he made, it was really exciting. So it's been a bit of a blow to lose him as well, because he's so good off the bench. And I know it's a cliche, but he really is incredible off the bench. Raul, you're almost getting like a complete striker, apart from one that can't put it in the back of the net. He holds the ball up really well. He's really smart. He brings others into play. He makes good runs. He's something about it. The goal is like some sort of force field against him where keepers make great saves, or he hits the post, or he just makes bad decisions. Against Palace, he was kind of put through one-on-one. He decided to square it and he got it wrong. And you're just like head in hands because he's in the right positions. So I guess the hope is that it is just a confidence thing and that he'll get a goal against someone. Fingers crossed it's tomorrow night. And then he'll start producing the goods in front of goal. But yeah, I'm sure he's as aware of the goal scoring stats as everyone else is. And it must be awful when you're in that position as a striker if everyone's talking about it. So I guess the positive is that he is performing, which is the main thing. And he does seem to enjoy kind of the bigger occasions as well. He played well again. We played well at Arsenal. We played well actually against Man City. So I'm hoping that tomorrow might just suit him, and hopefully he can get that kind of monkey off his back, which is scoring a goal.
Yeah, I mean, we do tend to help teams out. Ollie Watkins got his first goal of the season against us last week, and then now he seems to have pushed on with a hat-trick against Brighton. So if it's going to be against anyone, it's a high chance it could be against us. Another player who was a standout last season, João Palhinha, obviously the move to Bayern, the whole situation was complete madness. He'd done the medical, he's in Munich, done all the club photos and stuff, and then it fell through at the last minute. He subsequently signed a contract extension, I presume with a pay rise in it, I would imagine. How's he readjusted to that move falling through, and kind of how's he viewed amongst the Fulham fans? Is it very much that he's going to leave in January, or what do you think the situation is at the moment with him?
Well, I mean, he's still loved. I think there was a little bit of anger with the Bayern Munich thing, and his brother did a few, not his brother's his agent, and he did a few Instagram posts about how João's dream was kind of crushed by Fulham, and I think a lot of fans during the international break got a bit annoyed, and I'm more annoyed of his brother really for the comments, but he signed that contract and I think everything was forgiven. I don't know if the contract means all that much other than, as you say, he obviously got a fat pay rise because he actually wasn't one of the highest earners at the club, which was remarkable, really. And I think his brother said, well, if he's going to stay, he's now going to be your top earner. But otherwise, he's not going to play. So now he's the top earner and he deserves it. He's the best player in our team by a mile. We're unbeaten when he started this season. The only 2 games that we've lost are the 2 games that he didn't start. And we look so solid. Just every game he plays, I'm just confident that we're going to be in the game, that midfielders have a horrible time against him because he's just here, he's there, he's everywhere. He's just so solid. And he also helps us in attacking sense as well. He's got this amazing ability to kind of tackle and then just drive it on in one movement. It's incredible. And yeah, there's so much love for him. You will hear the Palhinha song tomorrow night. Every time he does something, he is just one of the best players that's ever played at the Cottage.
I mean, in terms of kind of obviously following on from last season, he had a fantastic first season back in the league under Marco Silva. I think he's done a brilliant job there. Has the style of play changed at all this season? Have you seen any signs of the team evolving, or is it kind of just a continuation of where you left off last season? Do you think the side needs to evolve its way of playing, or do you think you can carry on doing what you were doing last season and still have a degree of success?
No, it all feels exactly the same. When we came up from the Championship to the Premier League, we got a little bit more pragmatic and we've learned to play a little bit more on the counter. We obviously never needed to do that in the Championship. We seem to adapt our style a little bit to oppositions as well. So we'll be fluid. And so when we go, I can see us when we go play at Brighton in a couple of weeks, we're going to sit back and counter. But tomorrow night, we might have a little bit more of the ball because we're at home. The build up is very similar. A lot of it is down the left-hand side with Robinson and Willian and then Tim Ream from centre back. A lot of our build up comes down that left. I don't think there's been too much change. And that's maybe been one of the problems, is that a lot of our play was centered around Alexander Mitrovic. And so Raul has been we've been trying to kind of use Raul like we used Mitro. And he's not bad at it because Mitro is so good at coming back and holding the ball up. But then also we put a lot of crosses in the box, and at the moment we don't seem to have a striker that can actually head one in the net, which is a little bit of an issue. So no, it doesn't seem to have evolved too much. And I don't see Marco changing up things massively. He's kind of found quite a settled side and settled way of playing. So yeah, a lot is quite similar to last year, really.
I mean, if you're going to get a win tomorrow night or a positive result, what have Fulham got to do in order to get those points? And from a Chelsea perspective, who should we be a little bit wary of?
Well, I think a big key is kind of getting the width right. Willian was absolutely crucial when he played against you last season in the home game, and I think he's actually been a bit slow this season, not as in slow pace wise, just a bit sluggish. He hasn't quite hit the form that he did, but he's gradually with every game looking a little bit better. I think honestly, we're just going to have to take some chances. We will make some chances. We're just going to have to get one in the back of the net. It's now been, a couple of games where we've not been really goal scoring too high. So I think we're just going to have to take our chances as and when they come. But generally at home, we do make opportunities, and so I'm not thinking there's any particularly one player that has to perform out their skin. A lot of the game does revolve around João, and if he picked up an early injury or something like that, then we really do look like half a team without him. He is the absolute linchpin of our side, but also probably just keep it tight. And I think for me, and I saw in your game that you played on Wednesday against Brighton, you went 1-0 up and it just looked like it kind of looked a little bit Chelsea of old from what I could tell. I watched the extended highlights. So I think tomorrow night, I think if Chelsea got an early lead and the confidence rushed back into the players, a very talented group of players that are bereft of confidence. I think if you fill them back up with confidence because they get a 1-0 lead, I think that would be the disaster tomorrow, because I think if we can keep it tight for the first 20, 25, get the first goal, then I think all the Chelsea that we've seen this season will hopefully come to the boil. And that's kind of what we need really in order to get a result. We need to frustrate, I think your team and try and play on the kind of brittleness that's within your squad right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first goal I think is always so important in Chelsea games at the moment. We don't score a lot of goals, so the chances are that if we go one down, the best we're going to get is a draw. We scored 1 goal in September, and that was the one in the Carabao Cup in midweek. So yeah, look, we're creating opportunities. We're playing some good football. The underlying numbers are good, but ultimately the points don't reflect the performances. But that doesn't really hold much credence, because ultimately you've got to pick the results up. We're not doing that, but it's not like we're playing crap. So I think we are. It is going to happen eventually under Pochettino. But yeah, look, if you can get the first goal, it's going to make life a lot tougher for us. I mean, just to round out, mate, what have you made of Chelsea so far? I mean, I'm not expecting you to watch loads of us, but I mean, what have you made of the start to Pochettino's reign? And have you been impressed by anyone? Does anyone stand out to you so far this season?
Well, I mean, obviously, we know that there's undeniable quality in your squad. I think the game that I actually have watched in full this year was your win against Luton. And, you know, I'm really impressed with Raheem Sterling that night. And I like Raheem Sterling as much as I obviously don't love Chelsea. I do like Raheem. And so I was quite happy for him to score that evening. It does just seem like for you know, a couple of the games, particularly at home, that you've lost, it's like you're on top, but you just don't take the chances. And then teams get a bit of confidence in the second half, think, oh, we can nick it. And invariably, there just seems to be that kind of, oh no, around Stamford Bridge that tends to happen, particularly the Forest and the Villa wins. That seems to be what I could see from a distance. We know that you spent incredible sums. I think when Nkunku got injured, because I think, you know, again and against us as well in pre-season, you were really impressive. As poor as Fulham were that day, Chelsea were really impressive. So I kind of saw that and thought, right, okay, we've had the 1 year of Chelsea finishing 12th, and we're probably now back into the year of Chelsea challenging for the Champions League. So I've been quite shocked, but it does just seem remarkable the amount of money that you spent to still just kind of look at that team and just see obvious gaps. And it's startling, really, the sums that have been paid. And I get it, the whole kind of, you know, 8-year plan that Bowley has and whatever, but it does just feel a bit like, yeah, you kind of also do just need to make sure you've got a good team for next season that can get you into things like the Champions League, because all of these long-term financial hedge bets that he's making aren't going to work if you're in the bottom half of the Premier League every season until 4 years, when finally everyone starts to click. And the person that just hasn't clicked for is Nicholas Jackson. I know he scored that in the game I watched. He actually did score, but he just looks bereft, absolutely bereft, and just a rabbit in headlights, not in a position to be playing up front for a club like Chelsea at this stage of his career. So that was one from the outside. When Nkunku got injured, I did think, 100% sure what you're going to do here. Although I do like Armando Broja, and I'm really confused why he hasn't pulled up more trees.
He's not fit. He did his ACL in December during a friendly during the World Cup, and then he's literally come back in the last couple of games. I think he played about 20 minutes against Villa, and then he played about 10 minutes against Brighton in the week. So he'll be on the bench, but he's only fit. Pochettino said he's only fit for about half hour, so maybe expect to see him in the final sort of 20-30 minutes. But yeah, Chelsea have got high hopes for him. He seems to be a talented boy, but again, we've got to wait and see how he recovers from that injury. But to round out, mate, score prediction. We said it's going to be quite low scoring, but how are you feeling? What do you think is going to happen?
I actually think it will go maybe the same way as last year, maybe a 2-1. I think that you might score. I got a feeling that we're going to do it again tomorrow. I feel like everything's aligning for us. I feel like we're getting better with each game. I think that we've got a really solid, well-structured team. Goals have been an issue, but I think it's not beyond the realms of possibility of Fulham getting 1 or 2. So that's my hope for tomorrow. I think, yeah, it feels lined up. It feels like a good time to play you. And also just, I think every Fulham fan was feeling confident anyway. And then I think in the Villa game, when we saw that Nicholas Jackson would be suspended, and then as much as I just said he wasn't very good, I think still the fact now that there's basically no recognised striker short of Amanda Van der Broja is a huge boost. And then Malagusto at right back, again, not a position you're particularly well covered for. I think if it's an amazing opportunity, and if Fulham don't take it, we will look at this as a missed opportunity to get a rare win. You know, I know we did well last season against Chelsea, but for us, it's still, you know, one of the best things that we can do in a season is to get points off of Chelsea. It still means so much to us. We know it doesn't mean much to Chelsea. You don't have to tell us, but it's still such a big coup in our season. And yeah, you're not going to get too many better chances with all the injury, suspension, and terrible form you're in. My only question for you is who will come in to replace Gusto and Jackson?
Well, I think Disasi will probably shift out to right back. He's played there for Monaco, so Disasi will probably come in. And then we'll probably see Marco Correa at left back because Ben Chilwell got injured in the cup game. And then at number 9, it's more than likely going to be a false start of Raheem Sterling, which doesn't fill me with the most confidence. It doesn't exactly scream goals. We can't really fling a load of balls into the box because he's got no aerial threat. So it's good. I think you'd expect a lot of stuff on the deck, a lot of intricate play. If Cole Palmer plays, expect a lot of the ball to go through him. I've been really impressed with his start to the season. But in terms of a prediction, I think it's going to be very low scoring. For me, I'm always going to back my team, but I think it's either going to be 1-0 Chelsea or I could see it being a 1-1 draw. There's really not going to be an awful lot in it. And look, we need to try and build some momentum. A point, it's not in isolation, it's a good result, but given our 1 win in the first 6, that's not enough. We need to start getting wins because after the international break, the fixtures are pretty tough, and we face a lot of the big boys in quick succession. But let's hope that the boys can get a 1 there. I'll take any win at this point. We've been so deprived, so any win will do. But yeah, guys, we're going to round this one out here, mate. Thank you so much for your time. Do people want to check out more of what you boys are doing? Where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah, well, we have a podcast called Fulhamish, which we do twice a week. So we do 2 podcasts a week, but we've also got a YouTube channel as well, where some of the best bits of our podcast go to. There's also a weekly show called the Jack and Joe Show, which is fabulous as well. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind dropping Fulhamish a subscribe, that would be amazing.
Yeah, guys, make sure you do that. It'll be tagged in the title and it'll be in the description and everything else. So make sure you go and check them out and show the guys some love from myself. As always, guys, make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I'll catch you again in another video.